Shut up, dog. Shut up your damn self. Oh, alrighty. What's up, YouTube? It is your beekeeper here. Shut up. Shut. Oh my god. Yippee dogs. Where are we at? That Cub Cadet snow thrower, snowblower, whatever you want to call it. These are the side shoes, the side plates, side shoes, side rails. I think Cub calls them side shoes. Anyway, these bolt along to the side of the housing of the snowblower. They run along the ground. And this is actually what that device floats on, what that snow thrower floats on when you're pushing it down the road. But what it does is that. And I don't want that. This has... Really? Hold on. I'm going to go take care of that dog. I'll be right back. Alright, where was I? Put that back. Always good to have one handy. Aces. Alright, where was I? Cub Cadet snowblower model 353. These are the side shoes. These bolt to either side of the blower housing. They ride along the ground. These are considered consumable items. Consumable, reversible. You run it this way until these feet grind to nothing. Then you unbolt it from the blower. You flip it over and you grind the other part until they come into nothing. My intention is to run this only on my blacktop road, on my asphalt pavement, not on gravel roads or on any dirt. And I don't want to scratch up the asphalt. So what do you do? What do you do? What are you going to do? Got a chunk of Teflon here. I know. Where the heck did the beekeeper get a piece of Teflon? I don't know. There's a weird stuff in this shop here. But my plan is to make a grind rail. And make this the consumable grind rail, first of all. And secondly, it won't damage the asphalt as it skids along it. So I'm thinking I'm going to have it go a little bit past here. I'm going to bevel the edge or chamfer the edge front and back. I'm going to drill some holes through the tube. I've got some screws, some sheet metal screws that I'm going to tap 2, 3, 4. I'm figuring we'll probably put about 4 screws in here. And then tap it into this steel, because this is a good 1/8 inch. I should be able to get enough threads to hold it on there. So enough talking. Let's get her done. And just like that, they're done. These little Teflon skids. The screws, let's see if you can see that. The screws are countersunk, probably 60% of the way through. I kind of wanted them to go in a little bit deeper, but then again, I still want enough meat on here for these screws to grab a hold of. But I'm not sure what the wear will be on this. Relatively smooth asphalt with some ice on it. I imagine I'm going to get a few seasons out of these. I would hope. I don't know. If anything, I don't want the road scraped up. I don't want them to scratch up the road too badly. So hopefully this year, boy, with all this work, hopefully this year I can actually get up there and get that snowblower to work. Let's go outside and let's take a look. It was raining like a mofo this morning, but I did come out here It's about 60 degrees right now. Everything's a little damp, which actually kept the dust down. Check it. The lift rod, yellow. The bracket, yellow. There are several good coats of paint on here. I used the TransStar High Gloss Overall Activator Reducer. And then I used the DuPont Nasson Low VOC urethane. So I have quite a bit of that left. And yeah, several coats of this on here. It's drying up real nice. The nice thing about that, it was raining. It was warm enough. Well, they recommend 75 degrees, but it was about 60 degrees, 61 degrees, rain, so there's no bugs, no dust. And let me get you a clean section of this. I don't know. It's pretty close. It's a little brighter. The yellow's a little bit brighter, but this is also pretty oxidized. You know, kind of decent. I did prime this whole thing again. I came and I primed it with white primer. And let me show you what else I have going on. And there's Mr. Newman. And let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get this done before it gets too dark. 7/30 seconds hole, shallow grease fitting, and a hole in the bottom of the case here. This one already has a breather hole right there. And I just popped a hole in the side of the case down low. Okay, so I've got room. I've got that much room before I hit a gear. So if I go with one of these little shallow kids, well, you know, and that's threaded. I'm gonna thread that bad girl in there. That one's threaded in there nice and snug. Like I said, that one has an air hole right there. So I'm gonna get the grease gun out and squish it in there. And I appreciate everybody that made a comment about that. I can't remember all your names now because my brain is in 13 different places right now. But if you made a comment about putting a Zerk fitting in there or adding the grease to these non-serviceable boxes, I do appreciate it. The power of YouTube is freaking awesome. And I do appreciate your help. You guys know I live in snow-free California. And I am a newbie when it comes to snowblowers. This will be my first. I've never snowblown anything before, so it'll be a learning curve. I've pushed a lot of snow with plows before, but never used a snowblower, so I'm just kind of going by common sense, and I hope I've got enough common sense, you know, to get me through this. Oops, to get me through this. So that one's got a Zerk grease fitting. Look, it's shoes. I'm going to flip this thing around and I'm going to pop one in the front gearbox too, so hang tight. Alright, now we're looking at the gearbox inside the bucket. I popped a hole here in the front. Here's a tip. Oh, let me show you this real quick. I have that much room before I hit the first gear. And actually, if you peek in there, I don't know if you could see it. See that shiny bit? There's a gear. Here's a tip. Here's a tip. When you're drilling through stuff like this, initially I start my drill with a dry bit. So the shavings fall out. Shavings fall out. And then what you do is when you get about halfway through the material, or what you feel is about halfway through material, you take your drill bit and you dip it in some grease. You dunk the tip in some grease, and then you complete your drill hole with grease on the drill. And in theory, that captures all your little shavings inside the grease that's on your drill tip. So hopefully that'll help. And that saves me from cracking this thing open. So I'm going to pop a grease fitting in here, and let's get that going. Second fitting installed. I'm going to load that sucker up with some synthetic gear grease. Be awesome. And check this out. While I'm here, I start looking around, and there aren't very many wear points to this thing. I've already covered 2 of them. And then you start following this out. I wanted to see what this thing's made of. And these aren't even bearings back here. These are bushings. And they kind of go into these little cups. So what's to stop me from coming around here and putting a grease fitting in here in between these bolts, which will be dead center to this cup, which is where this drive shaft goes into. Well, there is a bushing, so why not fill this cup with grease? And not only will that keep rust from forming in here, right, because there's no gasket here, you're going to get water that gets back behind here, and water's going to get in this cup and cause it to rust out. So why not just drill a hole put a grease fitting and just fill that with grease, and that'll serve the two purposes of rust proofing the inside of this cup and lubricating the end shaft here. So I popped the hole in between. I've got a matching hole on the other side. See that little silver nib in the center is right where the tip of the drill bit contacted, but look, see how that moves? When I move the auger, that's the end of the horizontal shaft that the auger rides on, so that's perfect. I'm gonna try to squeeze as much service life as I can out of this Cub Cadet. So let me pop in a couple fittings and see how we do. Grease fitting there. Both gearboxes can be greased, pressure greased. Got one on this side. Stuff. So I started shooting grease in here, and I got to get this done before it gets dark. But apparently this front gearbox does have a breather hole in it. It was just covered by a little bit of dirt right there, because look at the water. I put about 40 squirts in here, and then I just saw a little bit of water coming out. So I cleared this out. I know you can't see it because it's getting dark, but there's a little breather hole here in top of the front gearbox. See? Water. So there was water in this one too. Man, thank you to all those that suggested. Again, thank you for suggesting that I put greasable fittings in here, because that probably saved me a whole world of trouble. And I've shot about 30 squirts into these guys. I know you can't see it, like I said, it's getting dark, but yeah. All right, thank you. All right, now for real, I'm leaving. See you. So about 50 squirts in here, and then I heard the, and you can see the bushing get slid over. So filled that up. I know it's getting dark. Did the same thing to the other side. Put a few more squirts in here. Got a little more water out of there, and then now I'm starting to get grease out of the top. See? Starting to get grease out of the top. So that one's full. So likely I've overfilled that one. But whatever. That just means a little grease will come out of here. So I'd rather have a little more than not enough in here. These are vented gearboxes. So as it warms up and things get a little loose, I'll probably get a little out of here, which will kind of make a mess in here, but it doesn't really matter. Grease is good. And then we'll spin this around. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And then I put some more squirts in here. I didn't wait for stuff to come out of the blowhole, but I could hear it crackling around in there. Probably at least 50 pumps in here. At least, if no, probably more than that, probably 70. Realistically 70. These are pretty dry. So probably saved me a whole heap of trouble. So that's it. I'm out of here for real this time. Thanks for watching.